Hey, hey, hey. Time for another Out of This World story from rSpace. Today on rSpace, will our protagonist confront the femme fatale? Will he unleash his revenge plot with theatrical flair? Or will he take the high road and let karma do its thing? Keep your iPad charged and your popcorn ready. It's going to be one heck of a ride. My girlfriend, 32 female, and I, 33 male, have been together for 8 years. Honestly, I thought things had never been more perfect. When we got together, she said she'd only been with one other person sexually. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but just don't lie to me about it. I don't care how many people you've been with, just be honest with me. Anyways, she recently let it slip while we were playing a drinking game at her friend's place that her body count was 43. I didn't want to start a fight in front of our friends, but I was totally taken aback and I was utterly embarrassed. This certain drinking game, the couples had to guess the other's answers, so I had to guess what she was going to put, and I was sure she was going to say 2. But then it comes out and she says 43. The look on my face must have said it all. I didn't want to make a scene there because we had both been drinking, but when I brought it up the next day, she tried to tell me that I had never told her that I had only ever been with one person. And then we got in a fight about that. She said that it was unfair of me to try to peg her as some innocent angel. On top of that, she seemed to have a lot more guy friends than girlfriends. And maybe this was my insecurities coming out, but it always just seemed like she behaved that way more than friends. I feel like sometimes she'd very much flirt with them in front of me, but then play it off like the fact that I had mentioned anything at all to her was disgusting because she had said, "They're like my brothers." I tried to let this go for the longest time. Recently, however, there's been some incidents that have made me question things more deeply. For instance, a few months ago, she started getting very secretive with her phone, something she had never done before. She would receive late-night messages and would quickly turn her phone away when I was nearby. I tried to dismiss my concerns thinking I was just being paranoid and insecure. If I ever said anything again, she'd gaslight me and say that I was being a brat, and she'd say I was being the overbearing and controlling boyfriend. And I see these guys like my brothers. I've known them since I was a child. It's gross that you'd even think that. Last week, a close friend of mine mentioned seeing her at a cafe with one of her male friends, and their interaction seemed more intimate than just friendship. He said she was grabbing onto his leg and they were basically sitting on top of each other. This really shook me because it confirmed some of my worst fears. When I confronted her about it, she brushed it off, saying they were just catching up and that there was nothing more to it. Again, gaslighting me. This situation has left me feeling confused and insecure. I've always trusted her and believed in our relationship, but now I can't help but wonder if there's something more going on. I don't want to jump to conclusions or make unfounded accusations, but I also can't ignore these feelings of doubt and betrayal. But then again, she just makes me feel like I'm the crazy one. Am I being dramatic here? Am I the problem? We've had multiple discussions about her friendships with men, and each time, she reassures me that they're just friends. Yet, the secrecy and the way she interacts with some of them make it hard for me to believe that entirely. It's become increasingly difficult to reconcile the person I thought she was with these recent behaviors. And now this cafe incident. I feel like my friend wouldn't lie to me about something like that either. I trust him and his judgment. I'm at a crossroads, unsure of how to proceed. Do I keep trusting her and risk being hurt? Or do I take a stand and demand more transparency and boundaries? The thought of losing her is painful. Yes, I know, hard to believe at this point. But so is the thought of continuing a relationship where I can't shake the feeling of betrayal. I need to find a way to address these issues without pushing her away or damaging our relationship irreparably. What do you think? Is she cheating on me? Am I the crazy one? Wow, that's quite the unexpected revelation during a drinking game. It must have been a real curveball for you, especially since you were so confident about the number. It sounds like you handled the situation with grace, considering the circumstances. It's understandable to feel a bit blindsided and embarrassed, especially when your partner's disclosure catches you off guard in front of friends. And the ensuing argument about your own past is just adding more layers to the confusion. It seems like there's a lot going on here, from the discrepancy in your sexual histories to the concerns about her behavior with her male friends and the secrecy around her phone. Trust is the cornerstone of any relationship, and it's natural to feel shaken when the trust is called into question. It's a tough question, and there's no easy answer. From what you've described, there are certainly red flags that warrant further discussion and evaluation. Update 1. Hi, I'm back. A couple of months ago, I came here asking whether or not my girlfriend was cheating on me, and I'm just here to update you all. After posting that story, a lot of you said that she was, and that I had to grow a backbone and confront her and dump her. Well, I did. But let me just get there first. And then, there were some of you who were asking why I was sticking around and what I was holding on to. So here's a little backstory. So yeah, I met my girlfriend Asha at a mutual friend's party. It was one of those moments where everything seemed to just click instantly. We bonded over our shared love for indie music and late-night philosophical discussions. We had both majored in philosophy, but we went to different schools. She was witty, charming, and had this infectious laugh that could light up a room. I was drawn to her kindness and the way she made everyone around her feel special. She was hella fun and chill. We traveled together, supported each other through career changes, and even adopted a dog together. Life honestly felt perfect. She was incredibly fun and adventurous, always up for spontaneous road trips or hiking excursions. She was very much the outdoorsy type. We backpacked through Europe, camped under the stars in national parks. We tried to scratch them off this bucket list of ours, and even went scuba diving in the Caribbean. She had this amazing ability to turn any mundane day into an exciting adventure. Her zest for life was contagious, and being with her made me feel like we could conquer anything together. Okay, now the update. So I went through her iPad, which was connected to her phone. All her iMessages and everything on her cloud would pop up on this tablet. She usually has her phone glued to her, so I had a rare opportunity, but I knew that would never happen. So I took my chances with the iPad, and surprisingly, I managed to get on. I'm not sure if she forgot that they were linked or if she was just an idiot, but hey, you win some, you lose some. I was scrolling through her photos first, only to find videos and pictures of her nude and playing with herself. Early in our relationship, she sent me pictures like this, so it wasn't completely out of the ordinary for her. However, I hadn't received a single one of these recent pictures. They were all recently dated, yet they were very similar to the ones she used to send me. Quickly, I had the sense to airdrop them to my phone to make sure I had evidence if she was actually cheating. At this point, I knew she was. I just didn't want to fully admit it. Believe it or not, I did love her. I mean, I do in some effed up way. Or maybe just love the person I thought she was. The person that never existed. Despite everything, I still cared deeply for her. We've shared so much together. She was there when my father passed away, and I've always imagined a future with her. When I looked into the coming years, I always imagined it with her. There was just no one else by my side. That's what made all this so difficult. I loved the person she was, the adventures we had, and the life we built together. That's why it hurt so much to find out about her secrets. And now that's just done. It's over. Everything I had imagined is just done. When I looked up the info on the pictures, I noticed a few of them were taken on Snapchat. This made me even more suspicious because we don't message each other on Snapchat. Honestly, I didn't even know she had Snapchat. While I had the time, I searched through her messages but couldn't find anything that stood out. But then I checked her Snapchat, and she had a bunch of guys on there that she had been recently messaging, and some that she had a big streak going with. All of these names looked familiar, so I knew she was in daily communication with these guys. I opened up the conversations, and there were saved videos back and forth, saved messages going into detail about what they did and what they planned to do, and how good things went, and blah blah blah. I took screenshots of all the questionable messages of the people she's been snapping. I didn't even care if it notified them. F them. After digging through everything, I put it back and decided what I should do. I wanted to call her up right then and there and leave. I wanted to pack up her crap and throw it out the door onto the front lawn. But after thinking it through, I decided not to bring it up while there was a chance that I might do something I regret. I have to really practice some self-control. I wanted to get my revenge, and I have to make it good. I'll be back with an update as soon as I figure out what to do. Don't you worry. First off, let me say you deserve a gold medal for your iPad sleuthing skills. Who knew a simple brain glitch could lead to such a jaw-dropping discovery? I gotta hand it to you though. Despite the shock of finding those revealing photos, you managed to keep your cool, for the most part. I admire your thirst for revenge, OP. I can't wait to see what twists and turns await in the next installment of Life with Asha. Update 2. Hi everyone, I'm back with another update. After my last post, I took some time to really think about how to handle the situation. I was torn between confronting her calmly or doing something more drastic. Ultimately, I decided that the best way to address this was to expose her lies in front of the people she had been deceiving, including the guys she had been cheating with, and all of her friends. In the midst of trying to act like everything was all good between us, I convinced her that we should host a games night at our place with a bunch of our friends, including some of the new guys she was messaging on Snapchat, whom she claimed were nothing but brothers. It seemed like the perfect opportunity to reveal everything. I figured it would be a dramatic but fitting end to this mess. I spent the week leading up to the games night preparing. I printed out screenshots of her messages and saved videos, organizing them into a folder on my laptop. I also backed up everything on a USB drive, just in case. I wanted to make sure I had all the evidence ready for when the time came. On the day of the games night, I tried to act as normal as possible. I didn't want to raise any suspicions. I helped Asha set up snacks and drinks, and we arranged the living room for our guests. As everyone started arriving, I could feel my heart racing. but I knew I had to keep it together. Honestly, I was stoked. The night started off pretty well. We were playing some board games and everyone was laughing and having a good time. I saw her flirting with the guy she had been messaging and smiled, knowing what was coming next. I waited until everyone was settled and fully engaged before I made my move. I stood up and said, "Hey guys, can I have your attention for a minute? I have something important to share." Everyone looked at me, a bit confused, but they quieted down. Asha looked puzzled but didn't seem too concerned yet. I took a deep breath and continued, "For our next time, it's time to play Truth or Drink." I pulled out my laptop and connected to the TV. I opened the folder with the evidence and started showing the screenshots and videos. The room went dead silent as everyone processed what they were seeing. Asha's face turned pale and tried to grab the laptop, but I moved it away. "These are messages and videos Asha has been sending to other guys, some of whom are in this very room," I said, looking directly at a few of her closest male friends. "I think you all deserve to know the truth." The room erupted into chaos. Some of the guys were in shock, others were furious. One of her friends, who had been a confidant of hers, looked completely betrayed. Asha tried to defend herself, shouting that I was invading her privacy and that this was a gross overreaction. But the evidence was undeniable and it had smacked her right in the face. Asha broke down in tears, but I didn't feel any sympathy at that moment. I simply felt relief that the truth was finally out. After the initial shock wore off, people started leaving, clearly uncomfortable with the situation. Some of them expressed their support for me, while others just left in silence. Asha and I were left alone in the apartment. She tried to talk to me, to explain herself, but I couldn't listen anymore. I was totally done. I told her to pack her things and leave. In the days that followed, she confessed to cheating on me throughout our whole relationship. She'd been talking to some of these guys even before our time. She admitted to being a serial cheater. I blocked her on all social media and changed the locks on the house. It's been a difficult time, but I'm starting to feel like I can move on. The support from our mutual friends has been helpful, and I'm focusing on rebuilding my life without her and looking ahead with some optimism. Apparently, a lot of our mutual friends have turned their back on her. The guys who had been cozying up to her have dropped her like a sack of potatoes. Apparently, they all thought they were the only ones, aside from me, of course. They each thought they were the special one that was causing her to falter in her relationship, the apple of her eye. Not only that, but I heard from a friend that her professional life also suffered. Rumors of her infidelity and unethical behavior spread like wildfire throughout her office. I guess there were some wives and partners calling in and causing a lot of drama with the men at work there because their activity with Asha. I guess she was pretty busy canoodling with the men in the office too. Her credibility and integrity came into question, jeopardizing her career prospects and opportunities for advancement. I heard she's on a leave of absence right now. To anyone going through something similar, trust your instincts and don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. It's hard, but you deserve honesty and respect in a relationship. Always. Thanks to everyone here who gave me advice and support. It really helped me get through this. Hopefully you don't hear from me ever again. Over and out. You played your cards right, OP, and boy did Asha get dealt a bad hand. I guess Truth or Drink took on a whole new level of intensity, huh? I can imagine Asha's face turning whiter than a ghost when you started pulling out those receipts. But hey, at least she confessed to being a serial cheater. Looks like she forgot to subscribe to the loyalty and honesty package. It's a shame her little game of cat and mouse ended up with her losing not only her relationship, but also her credibility and professional standing. And those guys she was cozying up to? Talk about a rude awakening. They probably thought they were starring in their own romantic comedy with Asha, only to find out they were just extras in her twisted game. Guess they learned the hard way that there's no such thing as being the only one in Asha's playbook. As for her career, let's just say her reputation took a nosedive faster than a lead balloon. Leave of absence? More like leave of avoidance. Looks like she'll have plenty of time to contemplate her life choices while she's on the bench. But hey, kudos to you, OP, for taking charge and showing Asha that cheaters never prosper. Here's to hoping you never have to deal with her drama again. Over and out, indeed. What do you make of this? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. And thank you for joining us today on rSpace. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. See you soon.